Hey everyone, welcome to Do Game Stuff. Today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make a custom splash screen with UI nodes and animations. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and create us a new game. You can either choose 2D or 3D. We're going to choose a 3D game. And wait for it to open. You can see here I've already disconnected the two links here. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop in a UI node in between the start and 3D world node. But usually when you open up a game, it's already going to be linked from start to 3D world. So you want to disconnect those two and then drop that UI screen in between. Right now I'm going to rename my UI to splash screen. Alright, so I'm going to open up my splash screen. And this animation panel is what we're going to be using for the splash screen animation. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go find my logo. I've got an old one in here somewhere. There it is. So I'm going to drag this logo in here, and you can use any image you want. You can use text or anything like that. All right. So down here in this animation window, I'm going to set up my keyframes here in this text field, and I'm going to go to the Open tab and do the same thing, 100, because I'm using 100 frames, and that's enough for me to do a good fade in and fade out. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the record button here, and everything turns yellow. So now when I make my adjustments to my image, all the values in the right hand field up here in the inspector, right up here, you see they start turning yellow. And you can also manually type in those values too. It'll record a keyframe in green down in the animation pane anytime you make an adjustment. So now I'm going to navigate to my last frame and set the opacity to 1. And I need to check the first one. Yes, what I thought. I need to make that opacity 0 because we're fading in from black. So now when I hit the play button, you'll see it fade in. And that's good. Now, if you're not happy with your results, you can always go back and edit the values. Just make sure that you select those keyframes you've already made, these little green guys here, and then make those adjustments and then accordingly. So now I'm in the idle screen. This is what happens when the screen is open and it's kind of hanging out. So the first keyframe I want to do is I'm going to make it opacity 1, and the last frame I'm going to make it a 0. That way it fades out. And I'm pretty happy with that. And it's pretty simple, fade in, fade out kind of thing. So I'm going to check off a record here because I'm done. Now we're done with the animation window. So now I'm going to go over here. I'm going to scroll down and get an event observer. Right? The thing I want to do is for the event type, I want to select on this drop down all the way at the bottom, timeout. And then it gives us an option for the time. Now this is in milliseconds. So I'm going to type in 5,000 milliseconds. It's the same thing as 5 seconds. And I think 5 seconds should be plenty of time for us to do our fade in and out. And of course, leave it at default. Now I'm going to connect that event observer to the 3D world. I'm going to go back here and double check my values here. Make sure my animation is still running smoothly. And on idle, it goes out. Okay, so cool. While I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and save. You can hit Control S to save. Or you can hit the file menu here. I'll show you that in a minute. So I'm going to go ahead and save my project as splash screen. Save it. Now I'm going to test the whole project. Yeah, you can go up here and hit save or save as, get the same result. Control S is good for me. All right, so I'm going to hit this play button up here, right? So it's going to open up, and there's my splash screen. Fading in and fading out, and then I go to my game. It's a little quick, so I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to add 1,000 milliseconds. I'm going to make it 6 seconds, so 6,000 milliseconds. And that should be enough time. I'm going to save it again. Double check my animations. Now open it up. and watch it fade in and fade out. Awesome. So that worked out pretty well. So now the best thing to do, and you can connect these to any UI. So I'm going to add another UI here and call it just my main menu, right? So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to drop me a quick label in here. I'm going to name it main menu under the user text field. Main menu. Kind of center it a little bit. And then I'm going to drop me a navigation button in here. And there it is. I'm going to name it my start or my play default function. And if I don't have an image for a play button, so what I like to do is I like to drop a text label right on top of it, just like that. And then I'll type in play. Then I'll go over here in the hierarchy and select that play button and set the opacity to 0. Now it makes it invisible, but you can still use the button. So now all I have to do is hit the text. And now connect my play button to my 3D world. So now, after I save it, when I hit the play button, my splash screen comes up, fades out, and leads me right to the main menu. And then I can play. Yay! Alright, so that's how you make a custom splash screen using a UI. And a lot of us have the free version. We like to add that little bit of polish. So if you like this tutorial, make sure you like and subscribe. And until next time, keep creating. Bye-bye.